Daniels is a stud, man, but I kind of hate that play. Like, I look at it and I just go, come on, man. It's just a 50-50. It bounces off of the tip of the hands. That guy happens to be in the back to catch it. And it's like, I don't know. It's just, I think it's a very impressive, but I get kind of tired of like the obsession with that type of shit. It's like, yeah, it's not like it was, and it wasn't like beautifully caught. Like the one at the end of the half with the Jets against the Bills was, Lazard making that catch was kind of impressive. That's like, okay. But like that just popped into that dude's hand, man. That's luck. But hey, yeah, I mean, kudos on that, man. Happy for Washington finally doing something because they were a fucked up culture for a while.
I remember Buffalo. Hey, listen, a great example, right, of when your number's called being ready.
DFL Football 25.
Let's go, Buffalo! What's up, Bills Mafia? Let's go! Happy Victory Monday, people. Come on into the DFL Podcast and celebrate with us. A dominant win. Another dominant win 2 weeks in a row. This week, a little bit more impressive, I would say, wouldn't you? I mean, come on. The Seahawks, I guess their defense is not quite as difficult as I thought. Maybe I should have looked more into that because I thought we were going to struggle a little bit with the run. And James Cook, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ray Davis wasn't as much of a factor this one, but of course he was. Just like Amari Cooper, I think he hauled in 1 catch. Looking over the film a little bit that I've had time to go over, it's clear they were looking to take him away, and Buffalo played into that. And it's nice knowing that we have weapons that can get through that we have some dangerous pieces out there. Coleman went off again. Not quite as much, 70 yards, I think, but talk about some impressive catches. That touchdown, one-arming it over Reek Woolen. Woo! My goodness. Now, you need to listen to the DFL podcast right now, Bills Mafia. You do, because right now you're getting all over NFL media and all that. You're getting everything's about the Jaden Daniels Hail Mary, which was very impressive. It's you want Bills news, man. You want to tune in. You want to hear about the Bills because that was the best game of the weekend. All right, listen, we're gonna go over a little bit of NFL news as well. I hope everything here patches together okay because we had some technical difficulties as you're getting used to hearing on this show. We've had some more technical difficulties with this time Chucky's audio didn't really pick up, so we had to do another call and kind of patch it together, and we'll see how it comes out. I think you're going to be along for the ride though because you're addicted to our takes, man. Doubting Tommy and Chucky gave us some good takes, some good analysis, good predictions. I chime in with my 2 cents. You're gonna want to listen up to this conversation, people. Happy Victory Monday. Is there anything else I wanted to jump in and add? My Dirty Birds pulling out a good win. Let's go. Lions look dangerous. I mean, I know they just beat up Tennessee, but they look nasty. Man, they're for real. With Thursday night, the Vikings losing, I thought they were a little more. I thought the Vikings. I think I still have faith in them, but I don't know. I don't know if they're quite what has been built up to this point. So we'll see what they can put together. Rodgers, as we get into on the show, and Chucky pointed out, if in the original call, he's kind of seems like a little bit of a cancer to that team right now. And I mean, it's hard to argue against that when you see the post-game interviews and he's just standing there. I've been in the darkness. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, and he did. What did he do? 4 days in the darkness. And normally, people, I'm all about that type of thing. Diving deep into the consciousness. I mean, he talks about the energy of the team. He's talking about a totally different beast. He's coming from an ayahuasca trip, which I have faith in that type of thing. But I guess I kind of separate it from football. Maybe it doesn't need to be, but Rodgers doesn't prove that it shouldn't be. So, because what he's doing right now in the darkness is not helping the team. I don't think. I think it comes off very selfish. Unfortunately, it comes off very pointing the finger around the team instead of himself. Seahawks got into a little battle against each other in the first half, wasn't it? Still, it was at the Allen roughing penalty, wasn't that when it was? that looked dysfunctional. But that, I guess, is, par for the course on the sidelines when you're losing and making dumb mistakes. And they made a lot of them yesterday. And we're going to talk all about that. And the Bills, listen up to yours truly, Chucky, Tommy. Come on, let's take it away, boys.
Well, I think what stood out to me, man, is like how important it is for the Bills to get the game started out right. It wasn't the Jaguars game where they just came out with their pants on fire and just, tore apart the Jaguars defense like we did, but they started out smart, efficient, and aggressive. Like I said, man, I think they should, when they start out the game with just throwing it like they did to Knox, like that they're coming out gunning. And I think that we're just such a better overall team when we come out aggressive. Yeah. I'm not saying, I love James Cook and I love how he's running the ball this year. But I don't like how much we're running on first and second down. I would rather be aggressive.
Well, two things. First of all, I'm not the kind of guy that wants to say that I told you so, but I really had a feeling that the defense was going to be above and beyond as they had been lately. Okay? And I don't know if it was because they've been hearing that the defense is lacking, they're hurt, they're not all that good, they've been getting lucky or whatever. But I really had a feeling that McDermott was going to bring it together. And that's why I said it was going to be a convincing win.
4 games this season with 20 points or more winning, but they won by 20 points or more, which leads the league.
Yeah, so so that's the one side. That's the one side of how I felt about the defense. I didn't say anything, and it might even sound made up now because it's after the fact, but I had a feeling that they were going to use Mari Cooper as a decoy for this game. And
I knew that's what you were going to say, man, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say it because I should have said it last week, but, so...
All right. Put your crystal ball away, Nostradamus. Mark my words, peasant. Next week, Amari Cooper shall be a decoy, and nothing further. How about how they started, though? It came out fast, man. Well, at least dominant. Came out setting the tone right away. Group with the 2 bat downs, 3 and out, and then go down the field. So it's the ideal start. But we have seen this team start from behind quite a bit this season as well. So what about that? What about the starts? How do you feel about that?
If they feel they can come back and win at any time on anybody, and if they get the lead on you, just as Brady was pointing out yesterday, they get the lead on you, you're not coming back on them that easy. They're not a team you can come back on. Their defense is that good. And he praised their defense, by the way. That's why I mentioned it to you, Charlie. Should we still fire Sean McDermott?
No, man. I stand by my point, okay? That I'm not going to be a little homer like you two and just pick the Bills to win every single game. But, oh, yeah, they're going to win today. Every single time we play, man. Okay? I love McDermott. I love what he did for this team. I love what he did for this organization. But when it comes to the big games and the playoffs, man, I wonder if we've hit our ceiling with him, man. And if we should seriously consider, are there other coaches out there, man, with like a higher ceiling? Because I think because he comes from the Andy Reid tree, I think he gets a little bit too self-conscious when he plays Andy Reid. He tightens up. Maybe Andy Reid knows all of his moves, but it's the same result, man. And I'm sick of it. We have one of the best quarterbacks of the generation, and we're still not getting to the Super Bowl, let alone winning it, man. And again, I love McDermott, man, but in the big moments, he tightens up.
It's a valid concern. You're not the only one worried about that. I understand that too. My only point that I kind of refute with it is just I believe in change, man. I think people can adapt and learn from their mistakes and grow and change, and I think he's shown that now. Still, okay, when it comes to the tight game, at the end of tight games, man, that's still kind of yet to be seen if that's fully well adjusted and he's fully learned and changed. But I think we've seen some growth in that, and we'll see when we play Kansas City. What's that, 2 weeks? I mean, we always beat them in the regular season, though.
We have. Now, but when it comes to the playoffs, the games Chuck's talking about, the 3 that we lost to Kansas City, okay. The first one, we had a different defensive coordinator, and he was let go, and everybody, or McDermott took over from there, whatever, okay? The second time they lost in the playoffs, and it was that 3-minute stupid ass thing, and then we lost the coin toss. But that was also on another defensive head coach or defensive coordinator's call. He's calling the plays, not McDermott. Okay? And on the last one that we lost, it went through the hands of your buddy Diggs, who should have caught that ball, and that would have been a touchdown. So we would have beat him. So I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that it's not any of McDermott's fault. He coaches, he teaches. They're to do what they're to do, okay? But he is not on the field executing. He's not on the field making the play. He's not the one catching the ball. He's not the one that's roaming in the free safety spot in the center of the field, okay? He's not the guy. He coaches them. He tells them that's what you should be doing. But if the defensive coordinator calls a play and puts everybody to the outside and leaves the center open, that's not McDermott's fault. Well, in a sense it is, but that play should have been called differently. And he's not the one calling that play. So it's 6 of one, a half a dozen of the other. But this year, I really believe this year they're going to do it right.
Listen, my thoughts on McDermott, man, is I love him as a coach. Okay, he everything he's done for the organization. Every head coach, there's not really any one head coach. Andy Reid might be the exception so far, the closest to it that we've seen. But there's not really one head coach in the league generally that is absolutely perfect at all phases of everything that they do. How many jobs the head coach has. And usually have coaches that are very good culture coaches that are very good, schematically, coaches that are very good time management coaches. So time management at end of games is McDermott's shortcoming. But he makes up for it in all other phases, it seems to me. And I feel like culture-wise especially, and defensively, of course, and his way to coach up young players, how good he is at that, how great he is at developing culture. Those are his strongest suits. And so his weakest point is game management at the end. I think it's a ridiculous conversation to really argue about McDermott, and I'm not a homer over this, Chuck. I just think it's ridiculous because when it all boils down right now, he's like the number 7, number 6 best coach in the fucking league. And who are you going to replace him with? And why would we even talk about that? So that's where I just get to I understand that he's not perfect. No coach really is. And I say, I like having him. So there you go.
Well, is he top 10? We don't.
I think so.
Is it because
name 10 coaches better than him?
But
name 10 active coaches better than him.
Will, is he that good because he's that good, or is he that good because he has one of the best quarterbacks of the generation? Take away Allen and tell me if he's that great of a coach, man.
Yeah, because he's not an offensive coach, though. He's very much more defense, and our defense has been top 5 the last several years he's been here. Almost every year he's top 5.
Dickhead.
And he's a defensive-minded coach.
What happened when he played Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl? What happens when he played Andy Reid in the AFC Championship game?
Yeah.
What happened when he played the Bengals
I know.
in the divisional round?
What does Andy Reid have if you take away Mahomes and take away Kelsey?
Andy Reid was taking the Chiefs to the playoffs with Alex Smith before Mahomes came into the game. He did.
You can't say that. He didn't take him there before he had Mahomes. He didn't take him there with Alex Smith.
He took Donovan McNabb to the Super Bowl. He took Alex Smith to the AFC. I think he took him to the AFC Championship game.
And McDermott was an assistant, or he was the head defensive coordinator for Carolina when they took what's his face there, the other runaround guy. What the hell is his name?
Newton.
Cam Newton. He took them to the Super Bowl.
And he lost.
What did they lose?
Peyton Manning.
They didn't lose by the defense. They lost.
Cam Newton couldn't jump on a fumble. Remember that? He stopped and looked at the ball.
Okay, well,
That's why they lost.
Tommy, listen. Tommy, listen, man. You could be a McDermott. You could be a McDermott apologist all that you want, man. You could be a little McDermott apologist all that you want.
You can be a Randy Reed ass kisser all you want. But okay, Chuck. I'm a homer. I'm a diehard Bills fan. I'm always going to go for them. Even when back in the day when they were losing all the time.
Well, one thing I noticed yesterday, man, is that, nothing against Samuel, but I think Shakir plays that gadget role probably better, man. Like, he's younger. I think Samuel, you could say maybe it's the turf toe, but I don't think he is what he used to be, what Brady would hope that he would be, man. I think Shakir looks quicker and more efficient in that role that Brady's looking for, like that gadget guy that motions behind in the backfield and then comes out of the backfield into the flat, screen passes, bubble screens. It looks like Shakir is that guy.
Yeah, look, the chess piece, man. Move him around.
Well, going around the league, man, what you talked about earlier, Tommy, like, I'm with you, man. Like, Rodgers, he's got no one else to blame but himself, man. And, like, the way that it is, man, is he's the leader of that team. And he takes no accountability. And, like, if you're the leader and you're pointing fingers, like, that's going to be contagious, man, because it comes from the top down, right? And if the leader of the team is doing nothing but pointing fingers, that's going to carry over to everyone else in that locker room. And I bet he lost the locker room, man. Maybe him and Adams are tight, and him and Adams are hanging out, But I think he was a great player. I think he's a great quarterback, man. He's got a great career, but I think he's done, and I think the Jets are done.
Yeah, this isn't going to change our subject at all. But real quick, back in the 90s, you may or may not remember, but the Buffalo Bills were known as the Victory Bills. And what happened there was Jim Kelly called out Brown, right, for his blocking, and then he called out one of the receivers for not catching the ball, then he called out someone else. And Thurman Thomas turned around and said, well, maybe the talker ought to look at himself. Long story short, the general manager, Polian, at the time, called Thurman into his office and said, you can't say that. And Thurman turned around and said, I can't say that. He goes, he's the one that's throwing the bad pass. He's the one that's holding the ball too long. He's the one who's not running into the line. And he went and he talked to Kelly, and so Kelly straightened out the rack. And that's what Rodgers needs. He needs somebody to step up to him and say, hey, listen, you want to be the leader of this team? You better start respecting your teammates. Because they're getting pissed at you, and sooner or later, they're going to step out of the way and let you get clobbered. And I think that's where Rodgers was headed. These linemen aren't going to take this shit forever. And these are his receivers,
Well, around the league, man, it looks like the Bengals are done, man. It was a long shot, but I think the Eagles kind of killed any type of hope that Cincinnati had, man. That win by Cleveland, that was fun to watch, man. I like Jameis Winston. That was a good game, man, and good for us. Baltimore losing a game. Now they're 5-3. So that's good for the Bills, man. Everything went well for the Bills yesterday except the Texans winning. New England beat the Jets. We talked about that already. Dolphins lost in the final seconds.
Jacoby did his job, and he doesn't mind being a backup quarterback because he has the experience, and he's
New England with Jacoby Brissett?
So, like, with either quarterback, they have to go. I'm sure they're going to go back to that kid, because that's why they drafted him. But, I mean,
yeah.
But what do you think of them overall? Because their defense was playing out of their mind yesterday. I mean, really, Rodgers didn't have much going on.
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe they played well yesterday because Mayo called them soft last week, but I don't think they're a very good team, man. I think the quarterback, May, looks promising, Tommy, but I think the rest of their team, man, needs a lot of work. I think that they're rebuilding.
Okay, and just on the final touching of this, I'll say one thing. Do you remember New England's defense last year, how they were rated? Well, they were in the top 10. They were in the top 10. They were around 7 or 8, okay, overall. And when Mayo called them soft, Belichick went to Mayo and said, hey, these are the same guys you had last year. And last year they were like 7th or 8th, And so if they're losing, that's your fault. Then Mayo came back and said maybe the coaching staff has to look at itself. And so I think finally showing the guys respect on that end, they stood up and played. Now, can he keep it going or not is another story. But if he does keep it going, what do you think their chances are? I don't think they're going to overtake Buffalo. And that's not a homie. That's not a homie. I don't think they can overtake Buffalo because Buffalo's already, 6-2?
Tommy, you gotta stop, man. The Patriots are like 2-5, man. Why the hell are we talking about the Patriots, man? Come on,
I think they
they're
can
2-5, man.
Better season.
No, man. Like I said earlier in the first time, man. I think the only other team in the East that has a chance is the Dolphins, man. Maybe they'll get a wild card, but I think that's even like if everything goes right for them, man. I think that the rest of our division is trash, man. I don't think
All
they're
I'll say
very
is
good.
I feel the same way, except for I think it's going to be New England that would have the slight chance of a wild card. I don't think Miami's going anywhere. Miami's 2-5 for a reason.
Hey, man, real quick, how about them Lions, man? It looks like the Lions are probably the top team in the NFC, man. I thought maybe it was the Vikings, but the Lions took them out last week. Again, I think like if those two teams played each other 10 times, I think it'd be pretty even. I like Darnold. I like what that offense is doing, and that defense. Take away the last couple weeks, because they played. They played the Rams on Thursday. And it looks like the Rams were just on fire, and then the Lions kind of tore them apart. But other than that, man, I like the Vikings, but it looks like the Lions are probably the top team in the NFC. But real quick, let's look ahead.
If they would have called that face mask against Arnoldson, that might have turned things around a little bit.
Yeah,
he was staying.
You might be right, man.
He was staying toe to toe with LA. They were right with them all the way through the game. But when they had that penalty in the end zone and gave them 2 points, they had to punt the ball away and the time was running out. So they lost. But I think if Darnold would have had that 15-yard penalty, put the ball up at the 20, and then he throws it and gets down the field and gets close enough for the tying field goal, that game can go either way. So
yeah.
I'm not taking
right,
it. I don't think Darnold was outplayed. I'm not taking anything away from Sanford. He's good. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, looking ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Chuck.
Looking ahead next week, man. Well, I think tonight's game, I think it'll be pretty tight, but the Giants are, similar to the Jets, man. I think, both New Jersey teams are kind of a joke, but I'll give Pittsburgh the win tonight.
Yeah, I have Pittsburgh. I'm going with Pittsburgh. I think Wilson is really going to light up the board even better than he did last week. And it's nothing against Justin Fields. Justin's a good quarterback and all, but he doesn't have what we were talking about, Chucky. He doesn't have that arm of Wilson. And I think Wilson likes being in Pittsburgh. That's his kind of ball.
I think with Neighbors back in the lineup, I believe he's playing tonight, right? They might surprise Pittsburgh a little bit, but I'll still take Pittsburgh to win it, I think, man. Probably a closer one than we expect, though, you know. I would say like 24-21 or 24-20, something like that.
And I think next week, Hill and Waddle come back to life. And Tua kind of shook the rust off this week. So I think he looks better. Even though it's in Buffalo, I think it's going to be a tight game. But because it's in Buffalo, I think the Bills get the edge.
Yeah, right on.
Maybe I'll say 34-27 Bills
all right.
next week.
Sounds good.
I think that Tyreek Hill already planted the fire because he turned around and said he sent out the notice. He just wanted to make sure that Amari Cooper and Devontae Adams understood he was the best in the league. Yesterday, he didn't put any points on the board. I mean, he had like, I don't know, maybe 25 or 30 yards on the whole game, right? And I think he lit the fire. Maybe that's why Edwin told Amari, next week is yours. Maybe he's just going to tear him up with Amari. I don't know. But I believe Buffalo's defense is going to say, no, it was no fluke that you didn't beat us the first time. And I also think that the quarterback, Tarua, he's going to have shadows all day, man. He's afraid of that Buffalo defense. They beat him. They beat him all the time.
Beat the hell out of him.
Yeah, you know, and like Oliver said to Tom Brady yesterday, you miss me? And Brady said, no, I don't.
Chuck, you won't be joining us next Monday. I kind of doubt you will be, will you, Chuck?
I might be able to join you guys next week. I'll be in Hawaii time. But if you guys want to do the show later next week, I think I might be able to call in for 30 minutes.
Yeah, he's going to be on his honeymoon, so this is a public congratulations.
I think it's a 5 or a 6.
Yeah, don't. Dude, I would love to pull you away from your honeymoon and make you talk fucking Bills and football and bullshit. But I don't know if the lady's gonna love that, you know. Maybe. I mean, if you're meant to be together forever, she'd probably be like, go ahead and do it, Charlie. Go talk football with your friends on our honeymoon. But I think we'll let you slide a week, man. Me and Tommy can probably handle the show next week.
Hey, we'll figure it out, man. Go Bills. Always fun, man. Good show.
Hey, all right. There it is, folks. Another episode, another DFL pod in the books. Week 8. Bills 6-2. 4 games up, 3.5 up at least in the AFC East. This looks to be our division, and I think one of the things the old man said that didn't make it into the episode because of our technical difficulties was a notion on we could be clinching the East by Thanksgiving. And that's really not far-fetched right now. The other teams keep going the way they're going, and we're sitting pretty. We're already sitting pretty. Everything about the Bills is sitting pretty right now, except the DFL Podcast isn't quite. I mean, still having technical difficulties in Week 8. I mean, I hear you out there, people. I can hear your thoughts going, Bill, get your shit together, dude. What the fuck are you doing? All right, well, look, man. Comes down to this. If you want to hear the show get better, consider liking, subscribing to the podcast. Subscribe on YouTube, like, share the shit out of it. You know, we talk Bills, of course, man, die hard, but all around the league. You got 3 football nuts who know the game pretty well, and bring you a little bit of banter, a little different banter than you're gonna get anywhere else. You know, you're not getting the same shit everywhere else you go. So stay tuned, keep tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. Be like, hey, you know, I got a problem. I got a bone to pick with you, Bill. I got a bone to pick with you, Chuck. The old man, take it easy on him. He's fragile. All right? He'll get real upset with me for saying that now. I'm going to have to hear some shit from him. Probably be just me and him doing the episode next week. I know you heard at the end there, Chucky saying, hey, just let me know what time. I'll peel away from the missus. Dude, you're going to be married for 2 days by the time the next episode's got to record. I think maybe you want to give your wife a break. So it's all right, buddy. You know, congratulations, man. He's a good dude. She seems like a good woman. I don't really know her. They live across the country, but I'm happy for them both. Congratulations. I'll be flying out there. We leave on Wednesday. My daughter and I trick-or-treating in California. That's going to be pretty cool. I'll stick up some pictures somewhere on the social medias for the show. So if you want to see that, you want to see me dressed as Art the Clown, trick-or-treating under palm trees, you better fucking like and comment and follow. Follow the show. Follow the Bill Mullane Show on Facebook. That's actually what the DFL Podcast is umbrellaed under, at least for now. We'll see about changing that up, mixing things around here. But, yeah. Hey, look, go Bills. I want to make some predictions for next week, not just the score. What did I say there? 31-24. I'm going to switch that. There's no way they 34-31. I'm going to go. It's going to be, we're going to go. They're dropping a 40 burger. Let's get nuts, people. Let's get nuts. 42-17. Bills over Dolphins. I'm look, say a prayer for me, people, because I'm going to be on a plane on the way back during the game next week. I'm not happy about it. I haven't said this to Chucky's face yet, but I'll say it here. How dare he? I mean, he's a Bills fan. His wife, soon-to-be wife, is a Giants fan. Oh, okay. So that's wonderful. You're both football fans. Why are you getting married in November? You had 6 months. You got another 6 months coming up after February. What kind of real football fan sets their wedding in November? And when shit's heating up. So things might go south when I get out there in California. I just might have to straighten that guy out, man. Say, man, maybe I'll crash their wedding. Maybe I'll crash it. I'm coming, Chucky. You guys are gonna be all ready. Wife's gonna be ready to walk down the aisle. Oh, where's Bill? He's in the wedding, and here I come from the back corner with a table, jumping through it, set it on fire, and jump through it right in the middle of the ceremony. Let's go, Buffalo! Booyah! See you next week, people.